Hey guys, the Super Review Show for another editorial video. I haven't done an editorial video in a hot minute, but here we are. As the title of this editorial video alludes to, comic book movies versus video game movies. This could be a mixed bag topic, truthfully. Now, there are already people watching this video saying, well, video game movies are more successful, more this or that, Mario is one of the most popular characters of all time, really, if you think about it. Here's the thing. I'm a fan of video game movies. I'm a fan of comic book movies. I got asked, the reason why I'm doing this video is because the other day I got asked, hey, it's because they know I do this. Someone I know who will remain nameless said, you do the Super Review Show? I said, yes, I do. I said, well, what's your take on like comic book movies and video game movies? I said, all right, well, listen, let me make a video and I'll get back to you. Here I am. So here's the deal. Video game movies are, I would say, in the early days of really good video game movies. Because if you think about it, we had Warcraft, we had Uncharted, we had Assassin's Creed, and we had Mario Brothers. I'll get to that in a second. The animated one, not the live action one. We don't talk about that. Mortal Kombat. We've had Tomb Raider. These are all very viable video game properties that had the potential to tell really good stories. The execution of the movies were not the best, except for the Mario Brothers movie. I know a lot of people liked Warcraft. I was not one of the people who saw Warcraft, but I do know I heard very good plus positive things about it. Assassin's Creed, heard the same thing about that too. I didn't see it, but I heard good things about it. So I have friends of mine who saw, certain other video game-esque properties. But I think the most successful one might be the Mario Brothers movie we had last year in 2023. Yeah, and I did an out-of-theater reaction for that, and I loved it. It was so fun. And before I get to the Mario Brothers thing, that movie specifically, there is no comparison between comic book movies and video game movies. And the key thing here is because video games have been around since, I want to say, like the 80s with Atari. But those are basic, like, people like, starships and stuff like that. Whereas the ones with stories started with Halo, another one, which became a Paramount Plus exclusive show. But there's no comparison about saying a comic book movie is going to be more, a video game movie will be more successful than a comic book movie. I might get obliterated on YouTube for saying that, but if you look at the track record of video game movies financially, critically, and story-wise, it's just nowhere, in my eyes, nowhere near the size of a Iron Man, a Spider-Man, a Batman, a Superman, which go back not just several decades, like 2001 was the first Halo movie, or, first Halo game, things like that. Or even like Assassin's Creed was like 2011, 12. You know what I mean? Or Minecraft is coming out soon. These are all computer-esque games or video games that you play in your console. Like a Call of Duty, they've been talking about that on and off forever, but I don't think it's going to happen. It could just be another war movie, you know what I mean? The story has to be there. Comic books have been around since 1930 whatever. Superman debuted in 1938 and has had generations of fans, generations of stories, of storylines. Batman, same exact thing. If you go, this is going to sound very stereotypical. If you go to any other country in the world and you show Assassin's Creed, they might not know what it is. Or you show Warcraft, or you show not Mario, because Mario is very iconic, but if you show a video game to another person, another country, like, oh, I think I know what that is. If you show Superman, you show Batman, you show Spider-Man, you show the X-Men, You are looking at generations of fans who know the material. One of the reasons why I brought to do this editorial was because my friend asked me about to make a video like this. But video game movies have not, I don't think they ever will succeed comic book movies. And let's talk again in 20 years. Let's talk when I'm 46 and not 26. When video game movies have successfully surpassed comic book movies. Let's talk in 20 years. But right now in 2024, I don't see it happening anytime soon as far as the pure, not popularity, but just like the pure source material is just not there. Like the very fact in 2014, I'm going back 10 years now, X-Men Days of Future Past, and then 2 years later, X-Men Apocalypse comes out. That's also after 14 years of X-Men films with them fighting Magneto and stuff like that on the films, 2 Wolverine movies, and then we finally got a Deadpool movie. Then we got Cable. They started to unveil those things later on down the line when the fans wanted it and saw the success in it. Because there's 50 plus years, 60 plus years of the X-Men titles of storylines to draw from. Another thing too I want to bring up, I brought up Days of Future Past. It wasn't just Days of Future Past, like the specifics. Yes, it was the storyline, but they included other elements in there of the X-Men fighting people and stuff. I'm putting my glasses back, my imaginary glasses back for a second here. Comic book movies are able to adapt other parts of comic book storylines into their films. Marvel, Kevin Feige said specifically, I forget how long ago it was, he said, we're going to release a movie and we're going to have this exact shot of this panel from this comic book, literally drawing from the source material that is almost 80 years old. 80 or more years old. With Captain America, which came out in 1940. Come on. So that's what I mean. Like the whole, he froze in ice thing from the first Avengers movie. That was specifically from the 60s Marvel run of Avengers films, Avengers comic books. For those of you who don't know that, go back and look up that original Avengers 1963 run or whatever with Iron Man, with the original 5 of Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. Then they found Captain America and Ice, and they literally adapted it to fit the movies, and they wanted to tell a story that was popular and successful. And it was. Greatest comic book movie of all time, The Avengers. Halo, Warcraft, Assassin's Creed. These are video game properties that have good potential, but will they surpass comic book movies? Talk to me again in 40 years. Because I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't see video game movies surpassing comic book movies anytime soon. Back to Mario Brothers for a second. The Mario Brothers movie in 2023 did something that I was very, very, very happy about. And I didn't really, I think I mentioned this in the Out of Theater reaction review. You could go back and check that out too. But the Mario Brothers animated movie, it wasn't just him going on like a pipe or whatever. He was actually doing things like, and it had a small story to it. And they said, what can Mario do? How can he save Princess Peach? And they made a story with the material, and it worked out, and it made $1 billion at the box office. That should have shown more success with that. And it did. And it told the studio, hey, we can make a Mario Brothers movie and do it successfully. They did, and it was great. But could they, and because they made a story fit for the movie. It didn't just draw from the source material like for Tomb Raider or even The Mummy for that matter. You know what I mean? Or Warcraft and stuff like that. You know, the story is there, but can they make a successful movie out of it? I don't see it happening for another 20 years. As far as surpassing 80 plus years of stories from Batman, from Marvel, from DC, from Star, like all this source material from Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. These are generational characters that have forever locked onto the screen. So, needless to say, though, I think personally that no, there is no comparison between a video game movie and a comic movie right now. Let's talk in 20 years, but I don't think it's comparable right now at all. To answer my friend's questions, hey, can you do a video on that? I said, sure. Give it time? Sure, absolutely. I think the thing has potential. But do I think, as of right now, 2024, that video game movies are more successful than comic book movies? Absolutely not. There's not even a comparison. There's one and then there's the other. It's that simple. So that's just my personal opinion on this editorial. I'm going to be obliterated by some people saying, well, clearly you're wrong. Well, I'm just sharing an editorial that I wanted to share with my friend because he's like, oh, can you do this for us? Sure, why not? So, but needless to say, though, I think that, let's talk in 20 years when more video games come out with more stories and more Halo, more Warcraft, more other things too, that'll make it more successful. But right now, there's no comparison between a comic book movie and a video game movie at all. There's no comparison whatsoever. One might be more popular than the other. That's a different conversation. But as far as just the generational talk of it, like my dad he doesn't play video games. You know, my mom doesn't play video games. But I used to play video games. Sure, yeah, absolutely. I have an Xbox 360. Yes, I do. And I played like Lego Batman and stuff like that, or Ghostbusters or whatever, or like not like Call of Duty or whatever, but just certain other games too. But yeah, just needless to say, I don't think there's any comparison between the two of them. Honestly, I don't think there's a comparison at all. But that's just me. But that's why I want to do an editorial on this video on this topic because I think it's very important that people understand that there is no comparison as of right now. But let's talk in 20 years. Anyway, I digress. What do you think out there? Jump down in the comment section below. Please share your thoughts on video game movies and comic movies. Hot topic. Let me know what you guys think out there in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But for all of your editorials and many more, keep it locked on the Super Review Show. The J-Man is off to rock. And we'll see you guys later.